And we are live. So, Dr. Emily Lucchino, not past scores anymore. So, I think this is the first time I talked to you since we got married. We got married. You got married.
Well, then we didn't get married, but I got married, and I do hear you're getting married too. But we
In
did marry
March?
each other.
No, definitely not.
Congrats!
So, congratulations. And you have, two little babies. So congrats
Couple
again.
babies.
But let me
Thank
be,
you.
I'm probably not the first, but let me welcome you to the Italian clan. Everything we do is bread, sauce, and cheese, and that's pretty much it. But
You don't have to tell me that. You can just look at my pant size, and you'll see that I have been loving the Italian welcome.
You've embraced the Italian lifestyle?
I have embraced it, for sure.
I'm sure that is not true. But anyway, congratulations, on your wedding, on your two beautiful little daughters.
Thank you.
Joe looks like he'd be a good girl dad. Is he a good girl dad?
He's the best girl dad.
I bet.
He does a really great job. We are not we're not easy to handle, if you can imagine. It's like a whole house full of me.
Oh, Jesus.
I know, which is tough.
That poor soul.
He's a good man.
He is. Anyway, let me just start off with saying thank you for coming on here. Kind of explain to you briefly before we started, like what I'm trying to do is just kind of consolidate as many different points of view of just health, fitness, wellness in one specific area. I've talked mostly with trainers up until this point. I have actually talked to a nutritional specialist, and now I've got you. First of all, my first doctor other than Dr. Racco, who I talk with every week. And first female to join my show. So, big up, Sam.
I did see that. So thank you so much. What an honor to be the first female doctor on your podcast. Honestly, I am honored.
It's a pleasure to have you. So, again, what I'm trying to do, just consolidate as much wellness information, health information, blah, blah, blah. So just, I guess, give us a little bit on yourself. We met down in Atlanta when we were both in chiropractic school. How did you get involved in chiropractic? Was it something that you were involved in your entire life? Did you kind of join late? Was it something that like you just kind of stumbled upon it yourself and you're just like, this is my calling. This is what I want to do. How did you get involved in that?
Yeah, so I grew up like a very stereotypical crunchy kid. Um, the best way that I can explain it is that we lived off the land. I lived on an 87-acre estate. My dad was like the hunter and gatherer. My mom would collect herbs and feed them to us or like brew them in a tea. I took baths in a creek. So that way of living has always been my normal. But I didn't find chiropractic until later. So fast forward, my crunchy kid lifestyle growing up, I went to undergrad with the intentions of going to medical school. But I soon realized that there was a huge disconnect between what my philosophy was on health and wellness and what the medical realm was doing. And so on my way to medical school, I decided like this is definitely not for me. I started working for a chiropractor. He was an idiot. I mean, I appreciate everything that he taught me, but I saw the magic in chiropractic and I saw how he did it and I knew I could be doing it better. But that philosophy really stuck with me. So I've always trusted that wisdom in my body, that my body knows what to do, in terms of healing and that sort of thing. We just need to give it what it needs. And so that's how I found chiropractic, but it really found me. And I'm sure you hear a lot of people say that in this profession. But the philosophy was just so in line with the way my belief systems already were. So it was a perfect fit for me.
That's awesome. And not just, your profession. I think it's anyone who kind of finds that little niche that they just realize that like, this is it, this is where I belong. And they always kind of have that, it's a little bit of an adventure, right? We do things that we dislike. We do things that like we know are just jobs. It's not our career. It's not our passion. but we find our way there, and then you feel it, and you're in it, and you're moving, and you're going, and it clicks, and then you just said, yeah, like, it found me. Like, this is where I'm supposed to be. And that's kind
Yeah.
of, how I got into like this. This is when I found my way into education. Like, I absolutely love being a teacher. And it's fun for me. It's exciting. Like, I'm excited to go every day. I love the kids. Like, I like seeing them learn and develop. So, like, that's, to me, it's where I feel like, it found me. Like, we had a different experience in chiropractic school. You made it. I didn't. But
You made it in your own way though, and that's the cool thing
exactly.
about it.
And that's the thing.
Everybody's journey is totally different.
Exactly. So, and then, here we are doing two different things, having this conversation. And we're still kind of in the same, field. Like, I'm still into health and training and, working out and all that stuff. And you're, doing health. I'm sure you do your own workouts and whatever. And we'll get into that in a little bit. But,
No,
but, so a lot of people, so you had this very, as you said, crunchy kind of granola childhood. And I like the fact that you brought up, like, you had this chiropractor who, you kind of learned from. And then once you dove in, you're just like, wow, I could do so many other things, like, better than what, this guy was doing or how he was doing it. But, that was kind of like opening your door into, this realm that you said found you. And now you're, right where you need to be. So how's, like, the kind of setup in your office? Like, do you see, like, multiple patients? Are you kind of like a smaller operation? You did mention to me that you were in other offices. So is this where you're
yeah.
at now? Is this like your thing?
So I just rent space off of
Sure.
another chiropractor, which is nice because I'm at home raising two babies. And it's nice to have a space that's already, like already here for me. I really show up and I can do what I need to do, but then I can still go home and take care of my kids. So I'm actually in the process of opening a second office. And that's another one of my babies. Me and Joe are renovating a terrible, terrible office space, and I'm hoping that, like, my vision comes to life. I watch like one episode of Home Makeover on HGTV, and I'm like, oh yeah, I can do this. But it's really like way more work than anybody ever could have imagined.
It's
And so
amazing how they
that's the
renovate
work.
those
And
houses in
then
like an hour, right?
like, honestly, I think that's one of those camera tricks. I don't think that's actually what is happening. So, I have this space here. I have my other office space, and then I took myself to the internet. I figured it's 2020. I bought my first computer. So I'm doing big
Wait,
things.
your
I'm
first
doing
one?
some Oh yeah, like first computer that I bought. I had
All right.
hand-me-downs through chiropractic school. I never had my own like new computer. I had like this old dinosaur that I never used. I'm like a pen and paper girl. But I have a Mac. I'm doing internet. I'm doing social media.
Doing
But I'm
internet.
doing some more. I'm doing the internet. But it's cool because I'm doing some more functional medicine stuff. So my like ideal population and what I see the most of is women, primarily women who have hormonal issues.
Okay.
So infertility, menstrual issues, fibroids, that realm of pre-pregnancy and pregnancy and postpartum. And I'm just drawn to that because maybe that's like where I'm at in my life. But that's really been like, that's what makes my heart really happy. And so I'm running with it for now
That's
until I change my mind.
awesome. No, I keep running with it, right? So, if you don't mind, you said, like, you're working with women generally in the pregnancy area, postpartum. Like, did you ever have any of that, like, postpartum depression? You've had two kids. Is that, if you don't mind me bringing it up, or
No, no, I'm happy to.
okay,
I think it's something that, well, I mean, you don't have a uterus and you won't,
I don't
well, I
know.
don't think in this lifetime you'll carry a child, but one of the things that happens as a new mom is you're sent home with this baby and everybody's always checking on the baby, but nobody's really asking how mom's doing. And so my experience with Ava and Stella were two totally different experiences. I had a really peaceful, calm vaginal birth with Ava. I mean, I was home. I had her at a birthing center. I was home within 4 hours of having her. It was like kind of a really serene, empowering experience.
Sure.
And with my second, Stella, I had she was breech and they didn't know it. So I had an emergency C-section, which was like my nightmare. And so after that, I really struggled with probably similar to like PTSD symptoms, anxiety, depression for a good year before I felt like myself again. And I tried everything from everything in my natural toolbox, chiropractic adjustments, massage, craniosacral, Reiki, all the way to like traditional counseling, all sorts of things. And it really took a little bit of everything to get me back to center. But both of those experiences were absolutely wild. And Len, if you ever have the chance to birth a child, I mean,
It's definitely, it
it's a
would be on my
crazy
to-do
thing.
list were it be possible. No, I mean, look, all jokes aside, I have always said, like, carrying and giving birth to another human being is like the epitome of the human body. And look, if I could, I totally would, because I've always been fascinated and I've always loved what the human body is capable of. So
Hmm.
in two different ways, am I happy that like I never have to go through childbirth? Like, of course, I don't think that's something I'd enjoy. But on the other side, physically, but on the other side, like that's um, an event or an achievement, like just a physical achievement that I do feel like I'm
Hmm.
missing out on. And I think that's, it's awesome. I really do. So when now you have these women coming into your practice, how do you go about, helping them, whether it be postpartum depression or, whatever else it is that, is affecting them?
Yeah, so my philosophy really is that I don't treat people for anything,
Sure.
right? They can come in with whatever it is, anxiety, depression, low back pain. I mean, I listen and I take in all of that information, but my job is never really to treat anybody for their symptoms, right? And so
Mhm.
on the chiropractic side of things, my job really is just to remove any interference in their body so that their brain and their body can talk 100%. Um, on top of that, when we start looking into hormonal issues, I do a couple different tests in my office. I do some stool testing, I do hormone testing, I do some food sensitivity testing, just so that I can really peel back the layers of the onion and figure out what's really going on at the root, what's really driving this problem, and what can we do to support the body so that the body can handle it and manage better by itself. So use a lot of supplements, herbal supplements, tinctures, whatever I need to use, but um, all natural,
Sure.
stuff first
That's
is
right. So
my first line of.
you try to find the source as opposed to the symptom. We're treating the source because, like you said
Exactly.
before, how you kind of almost you lost interest or you disagreed with the traditional medical model, which is it's very reactionary, right? It's treating symptoms. It's all
Hmm.
right. There's something wrong with you. Let's fix that. Oh, there's something else wrong with you. Let's fix that. It's not all right. Well, what's causing A,
Hmm.
B, C? Let's go back to the beginning and see what's going on there. Yeah, no, and I think that's it's a really, really great way to go about things because if you're never treating the source, if you have a leaky roof and you just keep repainting the ceiling, like the ceiling's going to get destroyed again just because there's a hole in the roof.
Yeah.
So yeah, no, I absolutely love that, and that was what drew me to chiropractic, way back down the line. But that's awesome.
A long time ago, Len. That
Long
was a long
time,
time ago.
2011, right? 2011. It's 2020 now. What?
It's been a
First of all,
while.
it's been a while, and
Yeah.
what a year, 2020. Woo.
I
Uh,
know.
so you've got this thing, Pretty Green Mama, you were telling me about. It's kind of your
Yeah.
almost your version of what I'm doing here. It's your outreach, right? So tell us a little bit about
Hmm.
that. How did you get started with it? Who are you trying to reach? What are you trying to do? Let's dive in.
Yeah, so I was telling you, Len, Pretty Green Mama was really the result of what we are calling a late quarter life crisis. And I'm sure everybody has experienced something similar where you wake up one day and you realize that everything you have been doing up until that point is no longer working for you. It's no longer serving your highest self. And so the best thing to do and the most reasonable and rational thing to do is just quit everything you're doing, right? That's what I did. I just woke up one day and decided I was going to quit my job, which was fine. I mean, my job is really fine. I love what I do, but I decided I was going to quit what I was doing. And after I quit my office job, I realized, like, how am I going to share this message of health and wellness with people without having a platform to share it? And so that's when Pretty Green Mama was born. It's really a community of mostly women, where I share everything I have learned in my 32 years of life, really, about what it means to live a toxin-free life. We talk about, things you can swap for better choices. And my biggest passion really is toxin-free cosmetics and skincare. There's a huge gap in the market. I mean, there has been no regulations on cosmetics since 1938, which is wild. I
Is that
think about
true?
what my grandparents were doing. Yeah, that's
Oh
a
my
true, like,
god.
that's a fact. So I think about, like, what it was that my grandparents were doing back in the 30s, the things they thought were healthy, even to this day, some of those, like, things that were instilled in them, their ideas of health and wellness, and how different it is now and what we know now. And so for there to be no regulations, no new regulations on cosmetics and skincare since 1938 is really, really, really terrifying.
Yeah.
The
Yes, it
other
is.
thing that really led me to that point, I'm doing all of this hormone testing in my office, and I see that so many women are in a state of estrogen dominance, so their hormones are out of whack. But what we're doing every day is putting on garbage on our body that's pushing our bodies into a state of estrogen dominance. So, I mean, there's definitely a correlation between the things that we put on, in, and around our bodies in the state of our health. And so a big goal of mine is just to raise awareness to people, like, the things that you're putting on your body might not be what you think it is, especially with the marketing we have today. There's so much greenwashing happening where you see a product advertised as organic or natural or green, and there's little flowers on the label, and you're
They
like,
just stamp a
ooh,
leaf
this
on
is
there. It's just
icky,
like, oh, it's
right?
good. Yeah.
And you just assume that those things are good for you. But if you were to just flip over those pretty flowers and look at the label and read.
Hang on, Em. I think I lost you. Your audio. I can see you. Keep talking. Um. Hmm. Hold on. Oh, come on. Say something. You there? No. All right. No. Hold on. See, this is where my lack of technology knowledge sucks. Hmm. Guess I can send you another one. That's a bummer. You can hear me, right? You can hear me. Okay. All right. Let me try.